kung uso ang social media nun, you would have been trending. Transition of Rica Peralejo to doing mature roles.
So definitely, it was effective. I got endorsements, I got my own lane. But deep down inside, I knew something was wrong. It's not authentic nga to me. Naging party girl ako. I tried drugs as well. I was in a bad place, but I also know that it was necessary. You know, you may have done bad things, but that doesn't really define the rest of your life.
Yes. Real stories, real conversations. This is Unbreakable. You're listening to Unbreakable with Migs Bustos, brought to you by Lucca Creatives, powered by January Skies Creations.
Rica, welcome to Lucca Creative.
Thank you.
From the bright lights of showbiz to her journey of self-discovery and faith in fitness. Nasubaybayan natin siya as a child star sa ang TV, naging teen idol, and later she transitioned to more mature roles sa ilang mga pelikula. And after 12 years sa industriya, she chose to take a new direction in life guided by her faith and strengthened by the life-changing adjustments she embraced. Now she continues to inspire others by sharing her story of journey of growth and healing. Mga kaibigan, kasama po natin walang iba kundi si Miss Rica Peralejo Bonifacio.
Yay! Hello, Migs!
Okay ba yung intro?
Oo nga eh. Very formal.
Very formal. Pero informal tayo today.
Oo.
Chikahan at syempre kwentuhan.
As we always do when I see you.
Yes, oo. I'm well, syempre aminin ko na, no, lahat naman tayo pinanood ka.
Nice.
Diba? Was always a fan of 90s TV. And grew up watching you, and of course, it's an honor to be, a teammate and a friend, of course, through running.
Yes! Oh my gosh, I'm so happy that,
nga,
I'm finally with you. Nakas, isa po si Migs na nag-i-invite sa akin forever so we can run. And then, sabi ko, hindi ko kaya gumising na ganun kaaga. But now, okay, I accept and admit that I'm a weekend run addict.
Yes! And congratulations, just finished your 21K.
Yes.
Oh,
my very first
How
half
was that?
marathon.
How was that?
Did
you ever think na magagawa mo
Of
siya?
course not. My gosh, I always thought that people who ran were like crazy. Kasi feeling
Now
ko,
we're crazy.
I know. Oh my gosh. Ang dami ko, busog na ako sa mga kinain kong salita. I always thought that running was, parang, bakit mo gagawin yun? Bakit mo paparusahan yung sarili mo ng ganon? So I really never thought that I would, if you told me like maybe, 10, 20 years ago, that you would someday finish a half marathon, I would be so shocked.
Yeah,
And
bewildered.
I'd probably say, no, you probably mistook me for somebody, ganyan.
But now you're this person, right?
Yes.
And very much into fitness.
Yes, and I think that's kind of what my 40s is like showing me. You know the saying na life begins at 40? That kind of is happening to me. Like, I didn't really naman think of that line until I became 40, and then I'm now 44. In the past few years, I've been seeing more and more of that there really is new life that happens to you and a rediscovery of yourself in your 40s. And also some new things that you never thought you would do before. Parang ngayon ko naiintindihan yung saying na never say never.
So if you were to look back 20 years ago when you were 24, would you imagine that you would be this person?
In some parts, yes.
Okay.
But in other parts, no. Because they're like super a surprise to me. Na,
It wasn't planned.
no, oo. And I think I'm very much like that as a person also. Na parang, I'm admitted na I can only plan for so much. But the rest of my life is not something that I can fully control. There are things that's gonna be thrown at you na hindi mo naman alam na mangyayari sa'yo.
Now, besides our shared interest for running, actually fan din ako ng nung mga una kong nakilala si Rica. Sabi ko sa kanya na, uy, nakikinig ako ng podcast ninyo.
I know, nagulat
Anything
nga ako.
goes with the
Oo nga,
Bonnies.
yes.
Kasi parang at that time, parang I was really looking for relationship wisdom. Kasi di ba kinuwento ko yun sa'yo one
Yes,
time,
yes,
nakikinig ako ng mga podcast sa States, parang hindi siya localized eh. And not a lot do it here in the Philippines, right? And one
Yes.
thing we share is parenting, in relationships.
Yes, oo. I love being that's one of the things that I actually imagined myself to be, a parent, because I think my mom was that kind of mom na she just enjoyed being a mom. She just loved carrying babies and all. So, feeling ko, bata pa lang ako, dream ko na in life to be a mom. As in, pag naglalaro ako as a kid, ang playtime ko lagi is, I'm
You're the mom.
pregnant. I'm pregnant, ganon. And then,
Ah.
or I'm carrying a
Yeah.
baby, ganon. Kasi nga, my mom was like that.
Yeah.
So to be a mom today is like really living the dream. And even being married is like, because I always thought that having the right person with you, I'm not going to say perfect because no one's perfect, but to have somebody like that in your life is close to impossible. Na yung you really get along with, that you really will love, and who will really love you. And I have it. I'm like, sometimes I can't believe it na, talaga ba? Parang I really got a good man and I really am a mom now.
They say, di ba, ako kung tama tong linyang to, di ba, parang they say, di ba, you take, ano ba to? Parang nakukuha mo yung parenting style mo sa parents mo. But there are also things that you think that you can apply na ikaw.
Oh yeah.
Di ba? Parang, what are those siguro na nakuha mo sa mom mo? And at the same time na meron ka rin mga ilang diskarte na
Iba.
iba. Oo.
Definitely, ngayon, lalo na ngayon, no, sa age na to,
Tsaka
usong-uso na
generation.
yung generation natin is really more informed. I'm just so glad that I exist at a time na pag ginugol ko, may sagot ako.
Yeah.
Can you just imagine our parents, like being lost in this whole process of parenting, di ba? Na parang the moment that their kids are born, ano yung gagawin ko, di ba? Parang they don't have anyone to talk to if
Yeah.
they don't have anyone to talk
Or
to,
yung example
right?
was like the things that they learned.
Yun
Yes,
lang.
yun lang.
Exactly. So they
Oo.
live through, if like, let's say, they went through a very strict kind of parenting from their parents.
Napalo
they just
tayo.
repeat it.
Ako napalo
Exactly.
ako. Exactly, oo.
Oh, ganyan din ako. Napalo ako, nakulong ako, nasigawan ako na
Oo.
na hindi ko naiintindihan bakit. I mean, like, of course, I will not lie. That has an effect on a person. And that has an effect on me. But I'm not mad at my parents because I
of
feel
course.
like of course, there was a season when I was, na parang, it all dawned on me na parang, you know, they didn't parent me perfectly. And you have to accept that hurt, that pain, na if you want to get mad first. But at some point, you can't stay mad because that's not going to be good for your relationship with them, not going to be good for your own heart, definitely. So I had to get over it and, you know, really see things from their perspective as well. And it really helped me a lot also to like put it in context na ikaw nga naman ba, kung ganun edad yung nanay mo, kung ganun yung tatay mo, would you have done any better? Would you have known any better than them? And that made me forgive them and even love them. And also to move forward with the agency of knowing na I don't have to repeat it.
Yeah.
I can break the cycle
Yeah.
and I can make it different for my children.
There are also some things that di naman trauma, di ba? Pero parang there are some things that are quote-unquote healing the inner child. Parang ang dami mo palang na-discover na nung nagkaanak ka. Na
Ay,
parang,
sobrang totoo yan. Sabi ko
di
nga,
ba?
parang naging therapy ko yung mga anak ko.
Totoo yun. Parang, oh my gosh!
Yeah. I remember one time when my second born was like a newborn. And I was like washing him. Alam mo yung pag pinapaliguan mo yung newborn, di ba? Very careful, very gentle. And then like all the oxytocin was like super in your body pa. Na parang in love ka sa baby mo. I was looking at him and I was like in tears na parang, I love this boy so much.
Yeah.
Ganyan. And then biglang may pumasok na thought na, did my papa ever
Yeah.
see me this way?
Yan.
Yung ganyan.
Ay, may ganon. Parang,
Saan ang galing yung intrusive thought na yun?
I know.
Na parang I wanted to, my dad's dead na eh. Na parang I wanted to know, did you ever see me as like
Yeah.
a super beautiful human being when I was like a baby? Ganyan.
Ngayon, how many years ago did you discover your fitness journey? And parang, tawag mo dito, meron bang factors doon na na-apply mo siya sa parenting? Kasi syempre in fitness, you learn your
Oh, yeah.
discipline.
Yes.
You learn so many values and virtues.
Oh my gosh, yes. I was never a sports person. So, I'm not one of those parang varsity player. Hindi ganon. So, parang wala, in our family also, wala din naman kaming ganon. So, I wasn't like one of those people who had any background in sports. So, it's all new to me. And I think that when I got into it, first and foremost, ano bang nagawa niya sa akin? It really is like therapy as well. Like, di ba, you know how they say that endurance sports is like good for people who have trauma?
Talaga? Pero I can see that.
Yeah, I mean like, because when you endure,
Yeah. You
it
go through the
means
pain.
you're not really just going through an easy thing. It's hard, right?
hard.
And that's what we do. Like, me going on my 21K is like, this is the farthest I've gone, and we know how that hurts the feet, the body, the mind, everything, right? And yet, when you surpass that, you're able to overcome it. I think that's what you get when you have trauma in your life. Na you've overcome something, which is something that you didn't have when that traumatic incident happened in your life. So I feel like it tells you that even if there were things in the past that you weren't able to overcome, it doesn't mean you can no longer overcome anything in your life. That's just one incident.
What was it? You mentioned trauma.
For me, it's like a bunch of things. Well, one is that I really started working very, very early on in life. I was only 12 years old when I started working. And though it started out as like a very light thing, di naman siya
Play-play
yung parang,
lang.
play-play, hindi naman siya talaga trabaho. It just eventually became a career because of a number of things.
Did you have to stop school at that time?
Yes. Because I was already getting pneumonia. So twice na ako nagka-pneumonia because of how hard the work was. And then you had to wake up early for school. So parang my body couldn't handle it. So the choice was like, let go of the career, or do we just pull you out of school and you'll do home study?
Homeschool.
So they pulled me out, home study ako, ganyan. And it was okay, but the career went on. I mean, like, you couldn't say no because when the flow is there, the flow is there.
Yeah, mainit ka eh.
Diba,
Yeah, strike while the-
strike,
while the iron is
exactly.
hot.
So yun yung kasabihan noon, na nawalan ako ng balance, naging all-career na siya. And can you imagine, I was just in my teens.
Yeah.
I wasn't supposed to be thinking of work. And at that time also, like, my family's business went down. So I kind of, like, started supporting my family. And it became like a responsibility in my teens.
Wow.
So parang, to be thinking of putting food on the table while you're still in your teens is not
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah. Tsaka parang nabigla ka rin into that eh. And then, wow, ito na pala
Lahat
ako.
naman kami, kahit mami ko, yung parang hindi naman namin namalayan na parang this is where it's going. And after a while, that's when it just started breaking me down. Na parang I couldn't, back then also kasi, konti lang kami. Di naman ganito karami artista dati. So paulit, sa lahat ng shows, kami lang yung mukha na paulit-ulit. So can you imagine, our work days are like, just 1 week solid, paulit-ulit.
Wow.
You just sleep in your car.
Uh-huh.
This is why people back then in our industry would have like really nice cars because you barely made it home. You just went home to take a bath and then up again you go to the studio.
Wow.
Ganon.
Sa mga viewers po natin, meron pa tayong segment. Ito na rin, magandang transition na rin. Sa segment na natin called What Ya Say. So magpapakita tayo kay Rica ng mga ilang throwback
Nako.
photos and videos at hihingi tayo ng kanyang reaction.
Oh my gosh, singer.
How young were you then?
Yeah, no, 12 yan.
12.
12 to 13. Ganyan. O, sino nasa likod ko
Anong
si
show?
Jolene.
Anong show?
Ang TV.
Ang TV!
Whenever I see things like that, it's parang, well, one is you begin to remember a lot of things, and then you also remember how you felt about yourself back then. Na parang no confidence, alam mo yung daming questions, very lost, ganyan. Then when you look at yourself back then, na parang, oh, I didn't naman pala look so bad. Yung ganon, yung parang in your mind, nung time na yon parang maybe I'm not pretty. Yung mga ganyan, may mga ganun kang iniisip. And then when you look back, parang from your standpoint now, hindi mo pala bad.
Not
Yan.
bad. Okay, next. Yan. TGIS.
TGIS,
Ano nga, TGIS was Saturdays, di ba?
Yes. Thank God, it's Sabado.
Thank God it's Sabado.
Oo.
Sino sila? Sino sila? Para sa mga
There's-
Gen Z audience natin.
Okay, si Bobby Andrews, Angelo De Leon, there's Michael Flores, Raven Villanueva, Shara Soto, Juan Mig Bondoc, and Red Sternberg, who
Yes.
just recently died also. He died this year, so that's a big shock to us. But this is like one of my most favorite projects because it's kind of like pegged as Friends.
Friends.
So, kung paano kayo na-hook sa Friends, I think people during that time really got hooked on the show also. Na parang, kasi it's a story of barkada eh.
Yes.
And back then, napaka-big ng barkada. Like in
Saan
our generation, it was really like that, parang barka-barkada.
Oo.
So, feeling ko yun yung nag-click talaga sa mga tao nung...
Barka-barkada sa showbiz, on screen, or like
Ito,
socially?
kaya siya naging patok is barkada kami dun sa series na totoong barkada off cam.
Yeah.
As in like, barkada in the sense na we enjoyed being together, tsaka away din kami.
Love
Ganon.
hate.
Oo, yung parang mga tipong nagkakainisan kami, ganyan. Pero hindi siya yung hindi bad It's more of like yung natural na kung ano nangyayari sa magbabarkada.
Correct.
Doon talaga kami off-screen.
Oo. Ayan! Fallen. Anong ano to?
Album yan.
Album to. Album.
Kasi songer ako dati.
Oo.
Di ba? Nag-start talaga ako as singer. And I really thought that that was my career path.
Pa-singing.
Yes, because when I was younger, yung time namin, Disney princesses. Like, that's Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, gano'n. Tapos yun pa yung pumatok si Lea Salonga, na parang as a Disney
Miss
artist.
Icon,
Oo, ganyan. So parang, sabi ko, ito yung trajectory na gusto ko. Ganyan, I wanna be a singer. And then, how funny nga, na hindi yan yung natuloy ko na career.
Boy!
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. What can I do for you?
Coffee.
Hot or cold?
Hot.
Si Berwin,
Oo.
Hari
Na-
ng Sablay.
Yes.
That movie.
With sugar or without sugar?
Which is runner din, Berwin, di ba?
Yeah!
Yeah,
I
try.
saw him
Oo.
saan nga ba? Basta recently
Oo.
nakita ko siya sa, habang nagre-race, gano'n. Yeah, so I had
Yeah.
movies like that before. I even had a movie with Andrew E.
Yeah.
I did a lot of films.
Yes.
But I think this was it was a project of Christine and Deezer Ocampo. And I'm like the other,
Woman.
not other woman, but I was actually the main woman, but
Yeah.
he really loved Christine Hermosa.
Yeah.
That was back when I was very, very active pa sa industry.
Sa industry,
Yeah. And I do miss those times na I just miss the craft. Often they would ask me na, di mo ba nami-miss yung showbiz? Ako,
Sige, yun na rin ang tanong ko. Oo.
hindi ko nami-miss yung long hours of waiting, of working, yung parang wala kang tulog, yung hustle. Hindi ko nami-miss yun kasi parang feeling ko talaga back then, wala naman akong pagkakataon magkaroon ng maayos na buhay. Like, yung ginagawa natin ngayon na we have time for fitness, ganyan. Wala kaming time na ganun noon. So I don't miss that. But I do miss the craft. Like being able to
Perform.
like take on certain characters and really engage myself with it, with a story, and just, fulfill the role that is being asked of me. That takes a lot of, that skill, that's craft. And I miss that. I miss working also with like amazing people. Kasi iba rin talaga pag ang mga nakakasama mo magagaling. Yung parang nahahatak ka.
Yeah.
So, nakakamiss yung mga ganon.
If you had the chance to do TV, what would you do?
TV siguro, talk show na lang.
Hindi na pag-artista. Roles, teleseries, movies.
Okay. Siguro kung sobrang okay ng teleserye, I would. But always,
What role would that be?
mahirap sabihin ng role eh.
Mahirap
Kasi,
sabihin. It has to come to
oo.
you.
To me, it's a whole package. Who's directing it? Who am I working with?
Got it.
what kind of role, what is the story, what's the point of what you're doing.
Yeah.
If all of that kind of like, my boxes are ticked na, okay to, okay yan, ganyan, gagawin ko,
Okay.
diba? In fact, I will do something.
You will? Aba, wala pa.
Wala pa akong,
Pupunta pala tayo dun sa exciting part.
Hindi ko pa sinasabi.
Wag muna.
Pero,
Siyempre,
meron akong 2 projects in line this year.
wow!
That are,
Wow.
they're both movies.
Wow! Exclusive
the
ba
other
to?
one is-
First time mo bang nakwento to?
Medyo.
Oh, wow! Semi-exclusive.
Ganyan. Oo, semi. Oo.
Semi.
Basta ganun.
Congratulations.
So, meron ako. And, yun nga, na-tick kasi niya yung
Boxes.
lahat ng boxes ko for me na it should be like this, it should be ganyan. And the number one thing on my list is that I can still keep my personal life.
That's true.
Na it will not make me so consumed with the work that I will eventually have no more time for my kids and my husband.
The transition. Siguro at that time, no, that was like late 90s. Kung uso ang social media nun, you would have been trending.
Ay,
As in
oo.
wild
Oh, yes.
trending. Transition of Rica Peralejo to doing mature roles. Having, pasensya, breast implants, doing 2X.
Oo.
Right? Parang, and I get to ask this to you. Years
Yes.
later.
Oo.
Why?
Why I
Yeah,
did it?
yeah.
Well, there was an offer. It all begins with an offer naman. And my mom and I back then, hindi naman kami talaga, wala kaming background naman ng showbiz, ganyan. So, you're basically very ignorant about a lot of things.
How young were
And-
you at that time?
Siguro nag-start yan, mga imang offer sa ganyan, 19.
19.
Pa-20s na ako. And, ang binubulong sa amin ng mga tao ay, if she does not reinvent herself, she will fall off the race. And I didn't have any lane. I was just like Rica. I was
Yeah.
that. Not known for anything, but just, sikat
Yeah.
ka lang, ganyan. Pero wala ka talagang kilala ka for this. And so when the offer came in and people were telling us that this is a good chance for you to reinvent yourself, we believed in it. So I
Tsaka
went.
uso yun at that time, di ba?
Medyo,
Oo.
Actually, hanggang ngayon naman may ganun eh. Na parang gusto nilang mag-mature yung tao.
Oo.
And yun yung reason why we did it. I didn't really believe it in the beginning when they told me that you're gonna be, parang, ang gagawin namin sa'yo is you're gonna be a sexy star, ganyan. Parang ako? Parang,
Oo.
ako po? Kasi,
Hindi, ang tanong ko doon, paano nila naisip? Siguro nga, yun nga, no? Nung siguro nilalaan.
hindi ko na, alam mo,
mga-
honestly, hindi ko rin
Oo.
alam. Gusto ko na nga tanungin sila, paano ba nakita nyo sa akin?
Oh, hindi, di ba? Parang for them to ask you.
I
Or baka
know.
nga, oo. Kasi baka
Because,
dalawa pa
sorry, but I'm like one of the most malikot people you will ever find. I'm not like a prim and proper kind of girl. I'm not even like, I never imagined myself or would ever describe myself before, even until now, yung as sexy. Kasi sobra akong gaslao. So parang, feeling ko talaga hindi bagay sa akin yung ganon. So, di ko din talaga alam paano nila naisip yun. So when they offered it to me, I was like, I don't know, pero
You took a leap of faith.
oo, medyo
Yeah.
ganun lang siya. So definitely, it was effective because I got endorsements, I got my own lane and all that. But deep down inside, I knew something was wrong. One is, it's not authentic nga to me. I really didn't see myself as sexy. So parang ako, okay nga yung iba eh. Parang if they do sexy stuff, they really like it. Like, they really like to be ganon.
Kaya din siguro nagulatan yung mga tao. Parang,
Oo.
di ba, that shift
Tsaka,
in that contrast.
sobrang wholesome kasi ng ang TV.
Oo.
Kiddie show, ganon. Tapos biglang naging ganito.
Pero
diba?
siguro the oddity also drove it, di ba? Na parang, wow!
Of all.
Oo.
Yeah, oo.
So, inabangan ng tao.
Which kind of also led me to rebel. I felt off. It wasn't authentic to me. It wasn't expressing who I really was. And so I tried to cope with a lot of like different things. So meron ako, as in like naging party girl ako, naging alcoholic ako, I tried drugs as well. Hindi ko na-preserve ang childhood ko. Yun yung masasabi ko. Kaya ako, siguro, kagulo rin within me na, okay, I just needed to do something that would make me express an anger that I had in my heart that I couldn't really talk about.
When you were at that time, what was it like? Can you say that you were in a bad place? Looking back.
I was in a bad place, but I also know that it was necessary. Yung, siguro ganun, na parang feeling ko kung hindi rin naman nangyari yon sa akin, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. So, I am glad that I went through like the lowest of lows, and I had experiences that when I look back now, no, parang, wow, that was really bad of me, na ganun ako dati. But it also makes me very, very compassionate and empathetic to other people. Now, when they go through that, I don't judge them. That's one. I can really tell them, oh, it's okay, I've done worse.
I've been there.
Oh,
So it's okay. Okay ka pa. Di ba?
At saka worse. Kasi parang, kasi you know, a lot of people come up to me and they're like so afraid na they did this, they did that. And I'm like, ay,
Ole.
eto yung kwento ko ha.
So, okay na pala.
Okay na pala ako, ganyan. So, I honestly like using my stories that way to make somebody else feel like, you know, you may have done bad things, but that doesn't really define the rest of your life.
Yes. Kasi hindi biro Hindi biro lahat ng yung mga
Yeah.
pinagdaan. It's very one of a kind.
I think that when I look back, it's really a whole lot of God's leading and moving in my life. Hindi siya yung parang, at the time, di ko pa alam, na parang saan ko nakukuha tong ideas na to? Saan ko nakukuha yung strength na to? Pero ngayon nga, na-attribute ko siya as, you know, God gave me the strength to change my life. And I think also that was the time when I said na I'm willing to take the pay cut. I've worked for so long in my life. I think I have enough money to survive on a pay cut for a couple of years.
Yes.
I said no to teleseries. I said no to movies. As in, parang lahat ng tao are like,
Bakit?
ang tanga mo, ganyan. Tapos parang ako, hindi. I really wanna do this.
Oo.
And I think, you know, I just really like the change also. I think I'm that kind of person na all or nothing. Na parang, kung I also quit pala my smoking. I was a heavy smoker ako before. So parang ganun din ako na parang, sige, if it's time to stop, it's time to stop. So I just changed.
Sa lahat ng mga kwento, just in a gist, siguro yung masasabi mong challenge, di ba, na talagang matinding rurok na kailangan mong, kumbaga, dumaan ka sa butas ng crime. At paano mo siya nagawa?
So for me, that was when nagkasabay-sabay kasi I wasn't doing well in our marriage. Our marriage was like really suffering from a lot of things. At the same time, I just gave birth to my second born, so postpartum. And then my dad dies. Right when, you know, I was
In
just
the middle of everything.
in the middle of everything. And because I didn't have a very good relationship with my dad, that it just threw me off. Na parang, what does one feel when you don't have a good relationship with your dad and your dad dies? So I was trying to think of like, do I cry? Yung, what am I crying about? Yung ganun. So, ang dami kong questions, litong-litong ako sa sarili ko. Parang, am I bad for not crying? Am I bad for not feeling bad? So yun yung mga what's going on in my head. And eventually, it just turned into like, ang sinabi ng counselor ko back then was like a rapid fire trauma. Because I went through a lot na sunod-sunod. It was like a blow in my life. And at the same time also, some people in my life and my husband's life, they were just like not very supportive and they were even putting me down. They dismissed me also. That's the overwhelming feeling. Na if only you could be out of your husband's life, it would all be better. So all of that at once. So I was really broken and I couldn't help it anymore. Ano na to? I cannot keep myself together. Sabi ko, grabe, all my life, ang dami na nangyari sa akin. I had to work through my teens and like experience like not having projects and having projects and all of that. Nalagpasan ko lahat. I even had like really bad relationships na talagang parang I was dealing with a drug addict and all that. Muntik na kaming mahuli, ganyan. Dami ko pinagdaanan, but I never, not once did I feel like hindi ko kaya to except for this part in my life na mentally di ko na kaya. I was like, in the beginning, I was like shouting a lot and everything was just like, it got me so angry. And then shortly after that, nag-plateau. Parang I think it was a depressive state wherein I just didn't feel anything. Like I was a robot. Parang autopilot lang ako day and night. I would wake up.
And you were a mom na.
Yeah. My only goal in life back then was to feed them and to bathe them and go back to bed. Ganon. Parang, and it was so good that I had children because if I didn't have children, I would have bed-rotted na lang siguro. Kasi, I had to eh. Parang ako, okay, paano sila mabubuhay? Siyempre, ako rin, di ba? So, tatayo ako, papaliguan ko sila, papakainin ko sila, pero I rarely spoke about anything. I just did what I had to do and then just went back to bed at night. Ganun lang yung buhay ko for about 2 years. Ganun. And I didn't really like talking to people. I didn't go out. I didn't put on makeup. Ganun. I would, if ever there was work, I would put on a face. Sure, like, I'll be there. Showmanship, I'll perform, ganyan. But real life, back at home, I was like, okay, parang akong catatonic, ganyan.
How did you turn it around?
Well, one is my husband was very, very worried about me already. I'm so glad that he didn't leave me. He was just there. And he also would suggest na, why don't you talk to this person? So, meron naman akong ganun. Parang nakikipag-usap ako sa mga tao about, how I feel and stuff. That helped a little bit. But I think what really turned it around was COVID. My gosh.
Ito lang pala.
Ito lang yun. As in, like, malaki ang kanalaman ng fitness dito. Fitness healed me talaga. Kasi, nag-start yan na COVID kami. Tapos parang dahil 4 kami sa bahay, parang kami nag-quarantine ng 1 month. Yung ganun, di ba?
Kasi pag ganun-ganun eh.
Mauna yung isa, tapos yung pangalawa, ganyan-ganyan.
14 days.
Oo, exactly. So, and I felt so bad about not being able to get up. Yung parang, sabi ko, wow, may ganito pala. Yung para ka talagang hinampas lang sa kama. Mm-hmm. Yung hindi ka na makatayo and all. Tapos, of course, the whole breathing thing na parang it's so hard to breathe, ganyan. So, after that, parang nagkaroon kami ng asawa ko ng energy na, we gotta start moving. We really have to start moving. Parang, we don't want that to happen to us anymore. Like that's such a sucky feeling. So, kailangan gumalaw tayo. Everything happened in the garage during the COVID days.
Yeah.
So, my husband was doing jump rope in the garage. Sabi ko, kaya ko ba yan? Sabi niya, subukan mo. Pag subok ko, naka-60 ako natalon. Sabi ko, uy, grabe.
Agad-agad? O, hindi biro yun
Nag-shoot ako ng 60, ganyan. So parang ako, okay, sure.
Natural ka pala. Kasi ako nung una ako natuto mag-jump rope, sa side lang, sa mga boxing gym. O sige sir, matuto ka muna side-side lang, kunin mo lang yung rhythm.
Maybe because wala naman talaga akong goal. So maybe that's why wala akong pressure. I was like, just sige lang, try lang, ganyan. And then I got hooked. And then I was introduced to the jump rope community. This is when I met one of my besties in running, si LJ. And then one thing led to another, from yoga to jump rope. Then because of jump rope, I got invited to the A6 retreat in Thailand.
Ito lang din yun.
Yes. And so when I went, parang sabi ko, ako nilagay dito, panay runner. Kaya nga sabi sa'yo, hindi ko talaga pinaplano yung buhay ko. Oo lang ako ng oo.
Sige, go.
Yan ang secret ko sa buhay. Pag tinatanong na ako,
go ka na ng go.
Oo ka lang, oo. Pag mo, di naman nag-go against your values, di mo, ka. I-try mo, di ba? So I just went, and I was like, why am I in the middle of runners? Ganyan. That's when I, parang, kind of like started thinking of running.
Yeah.
And so eventually, I got into running. And so I always say that the first thing that got me out of my mental health rut was physical movement. So me being able to take control of my body is strangely healing. Well, not strangely, but amazingly healing. So if you can find something in you that is able to endure and overcome things, I think that's a very good message to tell yourself na kaya ko to, di ba? Na hindi ako maiiwan dito na kung ano lang yung gawin ng buhay sa akin, tatanggapin ko lang.
Yeah.
Ganon.
To Rica today, 20 years ago, di ba? Ano masasabi mong purpose mo ngayon?
Purpose ko? Ang purpose ko simple lang talaga. Mabuhay ng maayos at mahalin yung mga taong binigay sa akin ng Diyos. It's just really as simple as that. When you're 25 kasi, I think you're focused on yourself.
Yan.
You're just really more thinking of yourself, where future's headed, or like, what can I do to make myself, more, whatever more means for you. But when you're in your 40s, you begin to see that life is not unlimited. You will one day go.
Totoo yan.
Mortality becomes a very real thing to you. Marami ka na nakitang namatay.
That's true.
Namatayan ka na mismo. Pwede ka nang mamatay. Alam mo yung,
Oo.
nafe-feel mo na
Habang tayo tumatanda, yung mga magulang natin tumatanda.
yes.
Bilang na.
At ikaw, tumatanda ka rin na
Exactly.
parang may mga mararamdaman ka na I didn't feel this in my 20s, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing because I now care for life more. And I also, when you have a deadline,
Yeah.
you begin to strangely focus on the right things. And I think habang tumatanda ka, nagagawa mo yung necessary,
That's a good
yung
analogy.
essential,
Oo.
yung gusto mo lang talagang gawin. And you begin to edit so many things in your life na, I don't need this, I don't need that. And I will focus more of my energy, of myself, to the worthwhile things.
Panghuli na lang, Rica. Okay, what makes Rica unbreakable?
The answer is, am I unbreakable? I don't think I am, and I think that's what makes me unbreakable, strangely. That I know I can be broken, but that I can be whole again. I think that's the best part about what I've gone through so far. That many things felt like they were gonna break me, but now, looking back, you could be broken for a while, but there's also a way to get out of it and you can be whole again.
Ang galing. O, palakpakan naman lahat. Mic drop. So maraming salamat po. Muli si Miss Rica Peralejo Bonifacio and this is Unbreakable.
Yay! Thank you, Migs!
Thank you. Hi, hello. This is Migs Bustos and do not miss every Unbreakable episode on the Lucca Creatives YouTube channel.